We have a major Cody Bellinger trade update regarding the New York Yankees, and we now know the real reason as to why this trade is taking so long after Kyle Tucker has been acquired by the Chicago Cubs. We're going to be talking about this, breaking down every new report that we have regarding why this trade is taking so long, and breaking down what this means for the New York Yankees here in this video. Before we get into it though, we know 70% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your New York Yankees news just like this, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button, join us here on the channel. We're covering everything New York Yankees, and your support lately has been absolutely amazing, and we appreciate every single one of you. But without any further ado, we need to get into this big update that we have here and really reveal and find out why this trade is taking so long. As I mentioned in my last video, we've been waiting for this trade. This trade was reported to be imminent as soon as Kyle Tucker was traded to the Chicago Cubs. We now know that there is a trade in place, but we know why this is taking so long. And we're going to pull up our first screenshot here from Hector Gomez and say, source, the New York Yankees are deep into talks on a trade to acquire Cody Bellinger from the Chicago Cubs. The Yankees are pushing the Cubs to pay at least $10 million of Bellinger's salary, with 2 more years remaining on his contract. With the Cubs, Cody Bellinger is guaranteed to be paid at least $52 million, which also includes his $25 million opt-out with the Cubs. So we now know from Hector Gomez. I do have a few more quotes here in this video discussing why this is, but we now know that this is an issue regarding the salary between the teams. They are not just yet on the same page as to who's going to be paying what for Cody Bellinger. The Yankees and the Cubs are about $10 million apart is what we're seeing right now, and that's a number that is not really close. You know, that's not a number that you can kind of negotiate overnight. So we now know what the holdup is, but it still seems like that the New York Yankees and the Chicago Cubs both have a deal sort of in place and just really waiting to figure out who's paying what. And of course, that makes sense. We kind of don't want to rush things, especially with how much Cody Bellinger is going to make. But over the next 2 seasons, I'm sure the Yankees are going to kind of ease their way into this and really be okay with taking a bit more than what they've initially wanted. And with the Cubs being able to take a bit more, and there's a few more opportunities where the Yankees and Cubs can really sweeten a deal, this is still trending in the right direction for the New York Yankees. And as I want to pull up this one as well, I'll kind of pull up the contract and what we're seeing here. As you see, he did decline the opt-out here in this offseason, I guess. So that is out of this now. But with the player opt-out next season, there still is that has to be paid out, of course, from the Cubs or the Yankees or whatever side wants to work out. And this is another big part of where this salary is coming from, and really still not deciding yet who wants to pay this. And of course, after that, we do have the UFA year. But 2 years of Cody Bellinger at a price that is very reasonable for what we're going to be getting him in. And as I mentioned in that last video about Cody Bellinger, the center field, the left field, the first base options, the possibility of seeing MVP Cody Bellinger once again, even though his hitting has declined over the past few seasons, but is still at a very, very high level. But having that ability to play really every position that the Yankees are in the market for is just another big bonus, kind of adding on top of this this whole report. And I will pull up right now what we have regarding the update, I guess, from Jon Heyman. Another one that we do have here as to why this is taking so long. So Jon Heyman had this to say: as for Bellinger, the Yankees still want the Cubs to pick up a chunk of the 2-year deal and the $52.5 million remaining on his contract, which includes a $25 million opt-out for the 2026 season. The sides are believed to be more than $10 million apart on an agreement, a source has said. So as we see, more than $10 million is really the kicking point here so far in this trade. We know that this is a big chunk of money, especially even at $10 million, but the fact that there were over $10 million for 2 years, the Yankees still looking to keep on adding more weapons to this team. We've seen some links to, Anthony Santander, to many, many other names that are still nearing signings with the Yankees. The Yankees want to have that very comfortable amount of room to be able to make this. So in my, history of watching these kind of trades go down and looking at the salary of these players making what they're making right now, if this gets closer and just below or just above a $10 million, that's when we may see this deal really work out. If the two sides are within the $10 million range, this will be pretty easy to sort out compared to where we are right now. And as you've seen Jon Heyman say there's no described and no revealed amount apart they are, other than just being above $10 million. So we're looking at this as right now as pretty far away on the contract side of things, but as we've seen so far and as we've been continuing to hear, a trade is still in place and ready to go as soon as this salary is figured out for the remainder of this 2-year contract. And if things does come down to it, and if they do come down to, a trade potentially being called off, the Yankees are going to pull the trigger and really take as much as much salary on from Cody Bellinger's current contract as they possibly can, and hope that the Cubs will kind of accept that, knowing that the Cubs are going to really need to get rid of Cody Bellinger regardless. But as we move on to our next screenshot here, this is another scenario where we're looking at and what other possibilities there are for Cody Bellinger and to kind of sweeten the deal with the Chicago Cubs. So as you see here, in this scenario from an article I pulled up at the beginning from Hector Gomez and what this whole part came from, he says, Miller explained that the Yankees can use Bellinger as a left fielder, a center fielder as well, if need be, and a first baseman, but they're looking at the sign of first baseman Christian Walker or Pete Alonso, or less likely Pete Alonso, or they can use Bellinger at first and sign Anthony Santander or Jurickson Profar. So, as we see, the Yankees have kind of many backup plans, although Cody Bellinger is really the number one on this list of players that are right here, right now. We know that Cody Bellinger is going to be useful in the outfield, useful at first base, useful at the plate, wherever you want to put him in a Yankees uniform. He will be exactly what the Yankees need. Regardless of how good he's going to be, he is skilled enough, has the history of being an MVP, still only 29 going on 30 years old. He has a lot of playing time left and a lot of very talented playing time left in this league, and the New York Yankees are going to be the perfect spot for him. So regardless of whether they want to only play him at first base, whether they want to play him in center field, whether they want to play him in left, or move him around all three, we do have many other names here. Anthony Santander, that we will have a video on as well, really as soon as possible, I guess, available for the Yankees to be able to make that extra move if things are coming down to a bit of a pinch for the New York Yankees. But as I mentioned, the freedom of having Cody Bellinger being able to play at first, at center and at left is really a big kicking point for this Yankees team and why they want to go after Cody Bellinger as bad as they currently do. And going on to this as well further, there still is a lot of opportunities for the Yankees to be able to make other moves, as I mentioned with those names, with Cody Bellinger and the salary and whatever is going on the side of the Cubs and the Yankees negotiations. But looking at Cody Bellinger's stats, as I mentioned, has regressed a bit the past few seasons, but is still by no means a bad baseball player. And as I mentioned as well, the fielding is the big aspect of why the Yankees are going after specifically Cody Bellinger. Looking at his average over the past few seasons, 266 last year, was 307 the year before, 10th in MVP voting that year, and really, around that kind of a 210, 165, two not so great seasons there with the Dodgers, but the Cubs have really revamped his career and showed us what Cody Bellinger will be and can be with every opportunity that he will be given, and especially like this with the New York Yankees as well. So looking at that, and one more, the opportunity of Nico Hoerner as well, which is another possibility that this trade has been thrown into. Nico Hoerner to be able to sweeten up a deal for the New York Yankees, whether they take on Nico Hoerner, give up more, make the Cubs take more of Cody Bellinger. There are lots of options the Yankees could choose to do. Nico Hoerner right now, I would say, is a bit of the lower end of things that we're looking at, and whether or not this trade that has Cody Bellinger in it has also Nico Hoerner, we're yet to find out. But there have been reports, but that would really make a lot more complications between the salary for the Yankees and the Cubs, and really what's going to happen from there. Now, Nico Hoerner is by no means making as much as we're seeing Cody Bellinger make, but there is just that extra factor that is a lot of money. The Yankees are going to want to sign some more, and if they want to do some more Santander, Profar, whoever it may be, Christian Walker, there are lots of options, but as I mentioned as well, Cody Bellinger is the guy the Yankees need right now, and I will die on that street. We need Cody Bellinger to help this team at the many positions he can play and at the plate. So let me know what you think about these updates. Do you think we're going to see a Cody Bellinger signing coming very soon, or do you still think that these price negotiations, this little negotiations between the New York Yankees and the Chicago Cubs could be a bit more of an issue than it may seem? But that's all I got this video. Like I said, let me know what you think, but that's all I got. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.